Double Fun's taken me almost a year to complete, because when I started with Sneaking Sally Through the Alley in America, it became an underground sensation on the FM radio, which is the first stage in creating a demand which led through 30 weeks on the road, 3 albums, shows started off at showcase clubs of about 500 seats and ended up at 5,000 seat theatres, and the thing moved so fast and snowballed that it was just a matter of keeping pace and following the demands. So it got to the position where I had a solid situation that I had to bring up to date and take the time to stop being a gypsy, find a place to settle, write songs for the new album, update the show, find new players, and settle everything. So now I've got to the stage where I'm ready for the next show. I've got the best album I've ever made, and it's a new beginning, and I needed to create the space, which has become almost a year, in order to bring myself up to date. It's the first song on the first side called Every Kind of People, which is a song that Chris Blackwell presented with me. It's an Andy Fraser song. Since he left Free, he locked himself away in a house in Los Angeles, and he's completely got himself together. He's taught himself to be a fantastic singer. I've heard these tapes where he does these demos with just his bass, which is he's one of the best bass players there is, and he's got this whole style going, and he does demos with just bass and this voice that he's trained, and they're just incredible. And I heard this tape, I was knocked out with the song, but every time I hear a song I have to mess with it, so I changed the arrangement, changed the lyrics, and went ahead and did it, and I recorded the album in about 4 different studios for various reasons, and everywhere that the tape came on, everybody rushed in and was going, "Oh, great," so that was obviously the one to pick. I think it's got to be best of both worlds, because during the process of making this album, I wanted to carry on my experiments with making records and bringing in all the influences that I'm interested in. And I started out recording in Jamaica with Lee Perry. I cut 3 tunes with him, one of which was Double Fun, and he works on just a 4-track machine. So as soon as I'd finished my vocals, I left him to it and just waited for him to present me with the finished mixes. At that time I was in New York waiting for them, working on the other tracks that I was producing. And when they came, he'd done some extremely eccentric dub mixes on them, which, although they were a delight to me, in the context of the rest of the album, sounded most peculiar. So I decided to recut it, and it got changed about, and each time it was approached, all the different aspects that I'd learnt about the song through from initially writing it with a drum machine and a bass, which I always start my songs with. If the song feels solid to me between the vocal and the rhythm, then I can use the rest of the space in there to create the atmosphere and don't get too involved in the technical aspects of it, like chords and stuff. And all these different things have been covered in so many ways, and so many ways of looking at the song, that by the time it was finished, it seemed like it was the best version that could be cut of the song, although I'd still like to hear somebody else cover it. Initially, with Sneaking Sally, I wanted a lead instrument on the album, and I wanted either Lowell's slide guitar or a harmonica, and I didn't know a harmonica player. So I called him up on the phone and asked him if he wanted to play, and he said yes. So I met him at the airport in New Orleans, and we worked with the Meters for a while, and we got on really well, and suggested that we should get together again. I think it came about when I was finishing off the mixing of Sneaking Sally. He called me up and said that they were at the time working in Baltimore in this studio that they had for a while with the whole band. Would I like to go and visit? So I showed up there, and we just cut lots of tunes, which became Pressure Drop. And by the time I'd finished there, they were going on the road, and I went off on the road with them for a while. So at the end of that situation, there was a solid musical and social friendship built up with them. So since then, through on the Some People Can Do What They Like album and the Double Fun, they were involved in different ways depending on the tunes. I mean, I've met so many musicians in America through all these circumstances over the last I don't know what it's been, 4 years now, that as I find out about all these new possibilities and my songwriting gives me more satisfaction and the songs are more fun to play, I can kind of pick each player and mix them up out of all these people I know for each individual song to get the best effect on the atmosphere from even the point of view of the rhythm section, and then be introduced to Gene Page that does the strings, and these Tamla bass players that I keep meeting. It just gets broader and broader. The initial people that I met, it's like a solid thing that I keep going back to and use them as the basis of most things that I do. Well, I keep getting phone calls, and it's gone gold already, which is a first for me, and obviously a delight, because it means it's going to open up a whole new load of opportunities for me. The gigs are going to be better, I can invest more in the show, I can use the material off it to create more dynamics in the show. The thing's snowballing at such a pace now that I'm now in a position to carry it around and spread it further, which is what I'm up to at the moment, looking to take it everywhere and bring it here soon. And the first group I was in was a semi-professional band in Yorkshire, which used to play all the soul clubs up in the north of England, which is where I first heard, got my enthusiasm for what was then ska music and Tamla Motown and Stax and Atlantic, same thing I like now. And then my first professional job was with Alan Bown, and that's when I started touring and getting involved in understanding more about how the thing operated. And then I was approached to join an even more sort of, I think it was called Jazz at the time, oriented outfit, which was Dada, which was this 9-piece band, which is when I first met Elkie Brooks and Pete Gage, which gave us all the first opportunity to visit America. And that band toured America, and the reaction from the audience there is a thing which you gauge, Pete Gage, what you're up to against. So we decided that we could say the same thing in a more direct way by pruning it down, which became Vinegar Joe, which toured America twice and toured Europe extensively for 3 years. And during that time I learned about all the basic opportunities of how to go about making music as a profession, and looking at all the people I met, all the groups we worked with, and all these various things, and then got to the point where I had a bunch of material and a definite atmosphere in my mind that I wanted to put on record, which was the point where I left Vinegar Joe and within 3 weeks was in New York cutting Sneaking Sally. Yeah, it's going to be a 10-week tour, and I've just been working out organising the new band, the stage lighting and equipment, and getting all that ready. The new band is going to be the nucleus of it. Is something that I've been building up over the past 4 tours that I've done in America. It includes Neil Hubbard on the guitar, the guy that used to be with Kokomo and Joe Cocker, Pierre Brock, 21-year-old bass player that I found in New York, he's on my albums now. The drummer is a guy I've met recently from Cuba, who works out of TK, where KC and the Sunshine work. Keyboard player's called Steve Robbins, and he's a producer, arranger, session player from New York that's done 3 tours with me now. And then I always try and keep a nucleus of people that enjoy all the changes that happen through tours, and alter the bits that go with it depending on the demand. Like the second tour I did was a 9-piece band. This one will probably be a 7-piece band, and I'll probably include some singers and some horns maybe. I've still to organise it. Well, when I finish up in America after 10 weeks, I should end up around New York again, having done the coast-to-coast thing, and that'll put me into summer. And that's what I want to do then, is come here, and I think work a week here and then go on to Europe, and that's going to put me into the end of summer. And at the moment, these things are all been set up, and the whole project from this point looks extremely exciting, because it's going to be a big circle that's going to wind up back here within the space of 3 months. And in the meantime, all these things that are now set up are going to be resolved, so that by the time I get back, the band and the show and everything else is going to be really solid. And it's something I'm really looking forward to, because it's been 4 years since I played England, and I've never played it on my own, so I'm looking forward to that delight. I'm intending to, as soon as the tour finishes, start work on my next album, which will start with songs like they all do, which will come out of the experiences over the next tour, and the experiences that come out of the reactions to it and everything else that goes on with it. I'm also hoping to plan the next tour through it, and hopefully towards the end of next year augment the band to the point where I can cut a live album with this show that's got to the point now where it's the most exciting thing I've ever done. And if the thing keeps going on at this pace, I don't know where it's going to lead, but it looks good from here.